And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Tornado Talk. We're here every Monday night at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live, along with YouTube Live. You can even catch us on Twitter as well, where we talk all things Brevard College Tornado Athletics. And glad you're able to join us tonight. We're going to be talking a lot of soccer after a big weekend for both the men's and women's soccer teams this past weekend on the campus of Brevard College. But before we get going, we do want to thank all of our sponsors of Brevard College Athletics: Arby's, Brevard Orthopedics, BSN Sports, Cooper Construction, eGolf Ford of Brevard, Hampton Inn, Ingles, Jets Pizza, Pepsi, Triangle Stop, and Young Transportation. Really appreciate their support of Brevard College Athletics. Well, I do want to catch you up since we saw you last. First off, the women's basketball team got in action with its home opener last Tuesday night, a resounding 86-32 win over Agnes Scott. Destiny Williams, the senior, with 20 points to lead the Tornadoes in that home opening victory, and the first victory of the 2020-21 season. Tornadoes got that season started very late in the game due to COVID protocols, but really excited to see the Tornadoes off and running on the women's basketball side of things. Just a big victory over Agnes Scott. Congratulations to them. The Tornadoes did play this past weekend against 15th ranked Maryville, a very formidable opponent. Lost both of those games, but the Tornadoes will look to bounce back tomorrow, Tuesday night at the Bosch, 6 p.m. The Tornadoes will host Piedmont, and YouTube is the place to catch that. This very YouTube channel, Brevard College Tornadoes. Just subscribe, hit the notification button, and you'll catch the broadcast of the game tomorrow night and all home athletics events here at Brevard College. Now, the men's soccer team had a huge win of its own. This was a thriller yesterday at Ives Lamel Family Field, a 1-0 victory over Piedmont. The only goal of that game by Vinny Giannichini, assisted by Esteban Berto. That came in the 29th minute. So the Tornadoes go ahead 1-0, able to hold on for the win. This thing got very exciting as the game unfolded, and the Tornadoes are victorious in their USA South Conference opener, improved to 2-0 overall. And that brings us to women's soccer, and very excited to talk a bunch of women's soccer this evening. And we'll bring in our guests in just a moment here as they join the program, joined by head coach Juan Mascaro and assistant coach Chelsea Shaughnessy. Coaches, thanks for joining the program.
Thanks for having us.
Great to have you both here. Well, I'm looking forward to recapping with each of you this victory over the weekend, a 1-0 win. It was the season opener for the Tornadoes. And before we kind of get into breaking it all down, I would like to ask you, Juan, it took a lot just to even get to this point. Of course, soccer is usually a fall sport, and here we are starting the season in February and start with a victory. Can you kind of talk big picture? The journey for this team to get to this point and then get that season opening win.
Yeah, I mean, it's been challenging, to say the least. You have to keep the team engaged. You have to make sure that the players are doing what they're supposed to be doing, fitness wise and all that. And it's just, going so long without playing an outside opponent. I mean, you can only play yourself so much, and in practice, you can only do it so much. That we've gone, a year and a half almost without playing an outside opponent. So it was nice to be able to prepare for that game. I think we had enough time to prepare for the game, and it turned out in our favor.
And Coach Shaughnessy, on that same topic, as you're working with the student athletes, did you feel like they had a bunch of kind of, energy building inside and were ready for this one?
Yeah, I definitely think, the jitters were there. We're fairly young this year. So there's a lot of players that have never experienced college soccer until the spring, which is just weird to say. And then to have a lot of their returners excited just to get back out on the field. So it's definitely a mixed excitement going on.
Now, as for the game itself, rainy, cold conditions, tough to get warmed up, I would imagine, in those conditions even. And, but once things got going, the Tornadoes looked stout and end up getting that game winner off the head of Taylor Richardson, a corner kick by Abby Petrosky, and then able to hold on from that point forward. Overall thoughts, Coach Mascaro, as far as, what it took for this team to get that victory, and what were the keys to the victory?
Yeah, I think that the really key for the game, I think it was the first 10 to 15 minutes. Having been able to control the game in those first 15 minutes, I think was key. I mean, the first 5 minutes, I was pleasantly pleased how well we were playing. I thought we could have scored a goal in the first 4 or 5 minutes. We had a chance. Actually, Royster had a breakaway, and she had a chance to put one away. But just being able to control the first 15 minutes gave us a lot of confidence, especially with the young players. And then as the game went on, I think we did a good job at controlling the game all around. I mean, I think we never lost control of the game. The goal is funny because we practiced that kick in practice probably, I don't know, maybe 12, 15 times, and we did not score once in practice. So we were saving it for the game, I guess. So it was good. I mean, it came from the training grounds, as we call it, and it was a great goal. I think everybody was in the right spot. I mean, Taylor did great of attacking the ball and putting the ball in the back of the net. So and Abby did a great job serving the ball where the ball is supposed to be served as well, which is a little bit away from the 6-yard box because the goalkeeper was pretty tall. So normally tall goalkeepers tend to come out a little bit more, so we want to keep it away from them. And then the last 15 minutes, obviously, it was a matter of controlling, making sure that they didn't do any damage. And when a team is down 1-0, the last 15 minutes are key. They're going to go. You just got to, be patient. And I think, especially like Chelsea says, we're young. I mean, we have, 5 or 6 new players that are, that never have played college soccer before. So they don't know, they don't know what they don't know. I think they did a great job adjusting to the game and getting through.
And Coach Shaughnessy, I know you spend a lot of time with the goalkeepers, including senior Rebecca Rojas. Another clean sheet for Rojas, a shutout. And really the defense also holding on tight and getting it done down the stretch. Can you talk about that end of things as far as preserving the shutout and how the team did there?
Yeah, I definitely think having Rojas in goal, obviously being a senior goalkeeper, great experience. She's very consistent in what she does and she works hard. So I think it was a well-earned clean sheet, especially after last year going into a lot of ties. I think it's about time that we really organized and got it. I think defensively, they did a great job. Again, young back, 2 freshmen back there, junior, and then another sophomore. So to have that inexperience still and not have a senior center back or senior in the back line, I think they did a great job staying organizing. They made adjustments. Even when coming in through extra forwards at us, they made those adjustments without us telling them to. So I thought they did a great job.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it was nerve-wracking, I'm sure, as those minutes were ticking away there with the 1-0 lead. Coach, could you tell us even further, kind of the mindset at that point, 10 minutes to go, 8 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go, 1-0 lead, holding on. What's going through your mind? And, if you can imagine maybe what are you trying to communicate to the players at that point?
It feels like a lifetime. Every second that goes by, feels like a lifetime. The last 10 minutes are they are interesting. They're interesting. I mean, you look at that clock, you try not to look at it, but you look at that clock, and 30 seconds don't go by. But I mean, you're trying to make sure that everybody keeps doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that's the hard part, that everybody keeps doing, to stick to the plan, because you know, when you're in those moments and in the last 5 minutes, I mean, the last 3 minutes were very intense. I think they threw more people up there, and you know, you can get disorganized, and it only takes, you know, one play to get disorganized. But they did a great job of staying organized. So I mean, all you're asking them is really to stay organized, to get numbers behind the ball. I mean, I probably said get back, you know, 150,000 times, but you know, you need numbers behind the ball at the end of the day, because you know, soccer, like any sport, is a numbers game. So then the more numbers you have behind the ball, the better odds you have. So that was the intent of it, and you know, I think we did also a good job at adjusting overall as a team to a little bit of a tweaked lineup. We changed a little bit our lineup. We normally play with one holding mid and two attacking mids, and we changed it up a little bit, and we were playing with two holding mids. So I think they did a good job at adjusting to that as well.
Well, congratulations again on the win over Covenant. You know, this was a Covenant team that, you know, got a lot of preseason respect as well, and you know, a formidable opponent. They're
a very good team. They are, for sure. Yeah.
And the USA South Conference has taken notice as well. A couple of Player of the Week awards. We're going to get into that even more when we have our guest on. But Rebecca Rojas, the goalkeeper, another Defensive Player of the Week award. She's racked up several of these throughout her career at Brevard College. And Taylor Richardson, the Rookie of the Week for the USA South Conference. Coach Mascaro, these are a big deal, right? When awards come down the pike and we get recognized like that, the publicity is great, but I know it means a lot to the team internally as well.
It means a lot to the team, and it means a lot to the player. I mean, it means a lot to the program, you know, to be recognized, because, you know, we're still young in the USA South. So we're still trying to build our reputation, if you will, on the women's soccer side. So the more accolades we can get, you know, it really helps us build our reputation. And I think that, I mean, they certainly deserved it, because we did play a great opponent, and you know, scoring a goal against a great opponent and being able to have a clean sheet, I think it's, you know, is very deserving of the accolades, for sure.
Well, looking ahead, you know, right away, getting right back after it here. And I know you guys had a practice earlier today, despite, you know, again, some difficult weather today, but a trip to Maryville, Tennessee, women's soccer at Maryville, more USA South Conference action this week on Wednesday, and then back home on Sunday versus Berea at Ives Lamel Family Field. Could you give us a preview of what to expect the week ahead here, Coach?
Well, it's going to be interesting, because we're Maryville's first game, so they haven't played yet. So we don't know much about them. I mean, great reputation. I mean, they're a very solid team, one of the top teams in the conference. They have a grass field versus turf, so we're going to have to adjust to that. But it's gonna be a good game. I think it's going to be a game, one of those, another nail biters, you know, that, and we're going to go out there and try to win the game.
And Coach Shaughnessy, you mentioned this as a young team. So for several of these student athletes, this will be their first road collegiate, you know, match. Are there, you know, words of wisdom, you know, pieces of advice you may give a player who's entering that scenario for the first time?
I mean, I think being a part of the USA South, that's one of the best things we have, is the road trips. I mean, we're one of the few conferences that covers such a big footprint. I mean, I don't know if there's advice. I think you have to prepare for these games more than any other, because you are on the road. You have to prepare hours, days ahead. I mean, you got to eat good meals. You got to get sleep. You got to prepare homework. So it's definitely more of a preparation game when you're on the road.
One last item I would like to touch on, and we've been talking about this since, you know, last summer, but now it's really truly come to fruition. A game under your belt with the new facility, you know, as a backdrop, you know, both the grandstands at Ives Lamel Family Field, but also the field house in the new locker room space for the Tornadoes. Love to hear from each of you as far as how that's working out for the team and just what an asset that is. Coach Mascaro, tell us how it's working out with the field house.
I think it works out beautiful. I think the kids love it. I think that, you know, it brings a sense of pride to all the programs that are in it. For us, I mean, it's our home. I mean, our locker room is beautiful. It's a sense of pride for sure. And then operationally, also, it's easier. I mean, it's just the ATs are there, laundry facility. I mean, it's just easy to maneuver.
Very good. Well, Coach Juan Mascaro, head coach of the women's soccer team, Coach Chelsea Shaughnessy, assistant coach of the women's soccer team. Congratulations again. That big-time win this weekend, 1-0 over Covenant. It was a lot of fun to cover that match and to see the excitement of the team after pulling off that victory in the USA South Conference. And best of luck this week as you head to Maryville and then back home on Sunday. And with that, we're going to invite in some of our student athletes into the program here, as we're joined by Sallie Riggan and Rebecca Rojas, also Taylor Richardson. And before we really get into sort of the transition here, I do want to make a couple announcements. We talked about it a little early on, but now that we have everyone here, Women's Soccer Defensive Player of the Week Award for the USA South Conference, Rebecca Rojas, and Women's Soccer Rookie of the Week Award goes to Taylor Richardson. So congratulations, ladies. And Coach Mascaro, I know you've got some words in this department as well for these two.
Oh, I'm extremely proud of them. Congratulations. I think, Rebecca's used to it. Taylor is the first one of many to come. So she's going to keep working hard and more to come for sure. But congratulations. Very proud of you guys.
Very good. Chelsea, any parting words here before we let you go?
Yeah, no, definitely congratulations. I mean, I think both deserve it. And no pressure, Sallie. You got to get it next week.
No pressure. All right. Well, Coach Mascaro, Coach Shaughnessy, thank you for joining Tornado Talk. Congrats again on the win. Best of luck this week. We'll see you later.
Thank you for having us. Bye.
Very good. And there they go, Coach Mascaro and Coach Shaughnessy, and joined now by Rebecca Rojas, Taylor Richardson, and Sallie Riggan, 3 members of that women's soccer team. And once again, Women's Soccer Defensive Player of the Week, Rebecca Rojas, Women's Soccer Rookie of the Week, Taylor Richardson, Sallie Riggan, a senior, big part of that victory this weekend as well, as the messages are starting to flow in here to Tornado Talk. This one from Laura Hall. Congratulations on your awards, ladies. Well done. So word is starting to get out there, and there's one of your assistant coaches, Patrick Hall. He's proud of these ladies as well. Well, this was a big win this weekend, and I really want to celebrate it with you all. And I see we'll start with the senior in the bottom left corner, because I saw her immediately nodding her head when I said it was a big win. And Sallie, you senior midfielder out of Wilmington, you've been a part of this program. You've been a part of big wins, but this one was a long time coming with all that the team had been through with the COVID protocols and everything, the season postponed from the fall. And then you finally got the chance to play this past weekend, and you come out of the gates with a win. Overall, how did it feel to pull off this 1-0 victory over Covenant, Sallie?
It was just a super good feeling, super big win. We were home. I think it was just a really important game that we should have won, and we did win. And I think it was important for the freshmen to have that first one under their belt, and the team as a whole as well. So felt really good.
And Rebecca, also a senior, so you've kind of seen the ebbs and the flows of the seasons and how they go. But this one, unlike any other, can you talk about just the feeling as far as the team goes? How far you guys have had to come? The months and months of playing each other in those scrimmages, and then you finally get to play and you pull off the win.
Yeah, I think the months leading up to to Saturday's game was a lot of uncertainty and knowing whether or not we were going to play. But thankfully, we were able to play this past semester against each other, and that's where we really developed connections on and off the field, and that's where we developed our style of play, especially since we are a young team. And so when we actually were able to compete Saturday, we were all excited, a little nervous, but ready to get out there, and that's exactly what we did.
And do want to welcome to the show freshman forward from Seminole, Florida, Seminole High School, Taylor Richardson, making her Tornado Talk debut this evening. And Taylor, I can't think of a better way to start your collegiate career as a women's soccer player than, scoring the game-winning goal off a header and then winning a conference award, USA South Rookie of the Week. Can you talk about, just how that felt, as far as, being such a big part of this initial victory for the Tornadoes?
I mean, it really was unbelievable, and I was just really stunned. And I mean, it was thanks to Abby off of her beautiful corner kick. I mean, she set it perfectly for me, and I was just there. So, but I mean, I'm very happy with how we played as a team and the overall outcome. So.
Very good. Yeah, nicely done. Nothing like finding the back of the net in your first collegiate appearance. Sallie, can you help us break down that, game-winning goal a little further? It was indeed on a corner kick as just described, and Taylor was able to, hammer it home. But, from your perspective, what did you witness in terms of execution?
Well, I just immediately got chills and wanted to cry. I just ran and hugged Taylor. And I was like, thank goodness, because there's no better feeling of just finally getting that goal. And my immediate thought was we just have to keep it together. We just have to keep it together. We cannot give up a goal. So it felt very good. And I know it did for Taylor too. First game, not playing each other. It just felt surreal. So.
And Rebecca, I don't know if I've ever really talked to you about this specifically, but from your perspective, being the goalkeeper, you're on the completely other side of the field when a scoring play like this happens, but you're obviously watching, every single moment as it unfolds. What's that like?
Well, one of the things I'm glad is everyone's watching the opposite end of the field, because I'm in the back of the goal, jumping, going crazy. I'm obviously wish I could run across the field and make it back there in time, but I'm there having my own celebration. And it's just really a beautiful moment to see two players connect and accomplish a goal we've had, is to win this game. And how do we win a game? We score on opportunities. And so, when I'm there at the back of the goal, I'm cheering, I'm yelling, I'm jumping around. It's a very exciting feeling, and it's really rewarding. It's really rewarding to see the growth in such a short time. And it makes me proud to be defending for our team. Absolutely.
All right, Taylor, I want you to really kind of remember back in the moment. All right. Goal gets to the back of the net, tell us what that was like right there and then. What do you remember from that moment?
Well, in that moment, I was just thinking really, it was just so overwhelming, I guess. And I don't know, it was just, I haven't played in a year, so it was just, wow, on the first game back, already a header, I don't know, that's just crazy to me. We worked on it during practices, and I mean, we didn't really get it in practices, but I mean, for the game, it was pretty cool. But
so the goal came in the 53rd minute. That's a lot of time still to hold on and secure this victory. And Sallie, can you kind of tell us the mindset of the team from that point forward? Up 1-0, you can kind of, we were watching closely, and we observed Covenant sort of turning up the pressure offensively, pushing up, desperate, for the equalizer. But the Tornadoes defense and, with Rebecca in goal, are able to hold on and pull off the victory. Can you talk about that portion of the game and, holding on defensively to preserve the shutout?
Yes, I remember 2 minutes afterwards, we were still collecting ourselves in our excitement. And I just remember saying, ladies, we need to keep our heads, it's still 0-0 in our minds, just oh, sorry, I'm trying to collect my thoughts again. But I just remember wanting to just all connect as a whole after that, because in the past we have let goals come right back at us, and because we are just all over the place after we score. So I'm just glad that we all collectively played as a whole, even though the last 10 minutes were very frantic and all over the place, so we pulled it out. So.
And Rebecca, we'll let you have the final word on this Covenant recap, which was preserving that shutout, and kind of the focus that's required on the defensive end. And, from your perspective as the goalkeeper as well, to preserve that shutout and come away with the victory. Can you talk about those final, 10, 20 minutes of the game?
Yeah, I want to point out what the last statement that coach made in our huddle was: you really have to play with your heart, and your legs will figure out the rest. And that's exactly what we did the last 15 to 7 minutes, is we played with our heart and we played with our mind, staying focused. We have to stay focused for the last 15 minutes a game, because that's when we're at our weakness. That's when we're most exhausted. And that's exactly what our team did as a whole. Specifically our defense, they held up very strongly. And I'm really proud of Abby Warsenoff and Emma White, especially even Katie and Autumn, for really holding our D line well as a team and communicating and working well with each other. And it's as a collective, as a team, we accomplished what we wanted that day. And I want to say the last 15 minutes we definitely played with our hearts. We wanted it.
No doubt. And now right back to work, because a trip to Maryville on Wednesday. So good luck on that road trip, and then we'll see you back here at Islamel Family Field on Sunday. Well, I do want the viewers to get to know each of you a little more, both on the soccer field, but also off the field. And we're actually going to start with you, Taylor. We're gonna put you in the hot seat here for a moment. Freshman from Seminole, Florida, Seminole High School. There's a good amount of Floridians who make their way to Brevard College. I'm actually one of them as well. And, so I would like to hear your story, Taylor, as far as how you either found Brevard or Brevard found you.
Okay, well, first being, I love seeing all 4 seasons for sure. Florida, you don't get that. So I love seeing the snow, the fall, everything. It just excites me. I get overly excited about those things. But Brevard basically found me at the Disney Showcase tournament in Florida. Chelsea reached out to me, and then we started contacting. Because of COVID, I couldn't tour the school, unfortunately, but I got to see videos, and from what I saw, it looked beautiful, and it is beautiful, and I love it here. So I'm very happy with my decision.
Very good. Well, we're thrilled to have you, and glad you're enjoying those seasons as well. Well, and Sallie out of Wilmington, and a senior now. So, we see the finish line, the proverbial finish line in terms of your college career, but, would love for you to enlighten us as far as your academics go. What have your studies been focused on? Have you thought through plans post-graduation? Fill us in what you got going on.
Well, I don't want it to be over. I want to keep playing forever. But my plan is to move back to Wilmington and hopefully grow my pottery business. I'm an art major with a business minor, sculpture concentration, and that is specifically in clay. So right now I am busting my butt making bowls for my senior studio. So
can we discuss that just a little further? Is there anywhere that folks can actually view your work somehow, Sallie?
Yes, so our senior show opening is April 2nd at the Sims Art Building. So I would love for everyone to show up.
Outstanding. Well, I know Brevard College has an outstanding, art department, and that's a really strong major here, and glad you've been able to, spread your wings there, and, really look forward to seeing you continue to, produce on the creative side of things. Rebecca Rojas, the senior from Murrieta, California. We've talked about that before, how, very much a different world as far as, being here, but you have found a home here at Brevard, North Carolina, and Brevard College without a doubt. But can you let folks know, what you've been up to as your studies are seeing the finish line as well, and what you have planned post-graduation?
Yeah, so post-grad, I hope to obviously stay in the area because it is beautiful and I'm not ready to leave. Western North Carolina, the mountains have become a nice comfort to me. I hope to get my MBA at Los Angeles Pacific University online, and we'll kind of see what opportunities arise. And I'm currently working with facilities while being a student as well, and playing soccer. So just working hard all throughout the day and get to enjoy the last few moments of my day playing soccer, hanging out with the girls, and really working hard, enjoying the last college moments as much as I can. So.
Yeah, well, we're thrilled that you guys are back on the soccer field. As we mentioned, it's been a long road to get to this point, but it's great to see so many of the Tornado athletic teams in action. Now, I do want to touch on this. We talked to the coaches about it because now it's like been christened because you guys have played a game. But this field house and the new locker room space, you ladies are actually living it. It's your workplace, as far as, being a member of the women's soccer team. Can you tell us, just sort of how cool that is? I'd love to hear, especially from the seniors, because, it's something brand new for you guys, and love to hear Taylor's perspective as well. But Sallie, tell us about the field house, and maybe, from an artist point of view, if you can kind of walk us through the theater of the mind, what's it like to reside in that field house?
I just know that Rebecca and I are very grateful to have it for our last season, even though it would be great to have it for longer. But it is very phenomenal. It was beautiful, and I love it.
Rebecca?
I'm going to be really honest here, Phil. I'm so thankful there's lights in the locker room. The fact that we have lights and our lockers in general are beautiful. They're so beautiful. And it just creates more of a community within our team. And honestly, I want to say that it even makes us work hard. It makes us want to earn it. And, Coach in the beginning of the season said, this comes with higher expectations. And he set a standard. And as a team, we worked hard to meet those expectations. And so I'm thankful for the lights. I'm thankful that those standards were exceeded and met, and that they were there. And I'm thankful that I'm able to use it as well. It's definitely a privilege to be on this team, on top of the lockers.
Well, I do want to give each of you the opportunity to give a thank you or a shout out to anyone who may have helped you along the way or who might be watching this program either live or on replay. And we'll start with you, Taylor. Once again, congratulations, Offensive Rookie of the Week, Taylor Richardson from Seminole, Florida, the freshman forward. Taylor, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
I would like to thank my family for the constant support, and all the coaches, my teammates, everyone for always holding me up and motivating me to do better.
Very good. And Sallie Riggan, the senior midfielder, shout outs. Thank you, Sallie.
Thank you to my parents and all of my friends and teammates, basically the same as Taylor. I would not be here without them, and definitely would not be as strong-minded and wanting to play the game as long as they're without their support. So I'm just very grateful and thankful.
And Rebecca Rojas, the senior goalkeeper from Murrieta, California, and this week's USA South Conference Women's Soccer Defensive Player of the Week. You got thank yous and shout outs for the audience?
Once again, agreed with the thank you and to the coaches too, and my teammates for always being there. Thank you to Emma Gooch for stepping into an important role when we definitely needed her. I also want to thank Hannah Weatherall for helping me push me in those fitness tests. She didn't necessarily have to run those, but she did, and that shows a lot of character on her part, and still her continued efforts to the team. So I want to thank her for that. And my parents, I want to thank you for supporting me and watching back at home, and my grandpa, completely in a different country and still supports me as well as he can. So I want to thank my family, my friends, my coaches, everyone out there.
Very good. Well, Rebecca Rojas, Taylor Richardson, and Sallie Riggan, congratulations, ladies, once again. A 1-0 win over Covenant in the season opener. And do want to thank you for tuning in this evening. I want to let you know what's going on this week around Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Tomorrow, Tuesday, women's basketball versus Piedmont. That's at 6 p.m. at the Bosch. You can catch that on YouTube Live. Women's soccer at Maryville on Wednesday in Maryville, Tennessee. This Friday, February 19th, the men's basketball team back in action versus Huntington. That's at the Boschmer Gymnasium. Once again, you can catch that on YouTube at 7 p.m. Women's basketball is on the road at Wesleyan this weekend. Softball has its season opener at Pfeiffer on Saturday, a doubleheader that begins at noon. Men's soccer is at Covenant. Football season opener at Huntington on Saturday, 2 p.m. in Montgomery, Alabama. And then the men's basketball team will play its second game of the weekend versus Huntington on Saturday. And then Sunday, women's soccer back at home at Ives Lamel Family Field at 1 p.m. Now, all home Brevard College athletic events will be streamed live, free of charge. And the easiest way to follow along, go to the YouTube page, Brevard College Tornadoes, hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell so you get all the notifications, and it'll pop right up there on your phone or your device when we go live with the broadcast, and you won't miss any of the action. So hopefully you'll be able to tune in for all the action on YouTube and follow the Tornadoes on Instagram and Twitter at BC Tornadoes, YouTube and Facebook, Brevard College Tornadoes Athletics. And thank you once again. Congratulations to the women's soccer program on a great season opening victory. And thank you for tuning in for this edition of Tornado Talk. We'll see you next Monday night where we'll talk all things Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Go Tornadoes!